Hello, I'm pleased to introduce Mr. Hemant Desai, Chairman and Managing Director of Concept. His company is providing services of investment. Today we'll talk about service to non-resident Indian. Hello sir, I would like to ask you a few questions on NRI Investment to India.
Welcome.
Sir, I would like to ask, what is the status of non-resident Indian in context of investment in India?
Hello fellow Indians. You are also Indians like resident Indians, and you are also enjoying almost the same rights as we the resident Indians. NRIs are most welcome for investing in India. India has a good rich heritage. We were a leading nation in past and we are coming back to a fast growth. So we should be a fully developed nation and the third largest economy by year 2025. In process of growth, numbers of Indians have gone abroad and settled there. They form cream mass in the countries they live, but they have their roots in India, they have an affinity for India, and that is why they are very much inclined to invest in India.
Who are considered NRI?
NRI is a person who is either holding Indian passport and staying abroad or holding foreign passport but has roots in India in terms of either earlier citizenship of India or their parents or grandparents were Indian.
Can you give idea on OCI?
OCI means Overseas Citizen of India. It's a dual citizenship. If you obtain OCI card, you can enjoy number of advantages. You can visit India. You do not need any kind of visa. You can come here as many times as you like and stay as long as you like. So there is a distinct advantage of obtaining OCI card and dual citizenship.
What are the different categories of investment for NRIs?
India welcomes investment from NRIs. There are two categories of investment, NRO and NRE. NRO means non-resident ordinary. This means you have fund in India earned earlier or inherited. This you can invest in India under NRO category. NRE means non-resident external. In NRE category, you bring funds from out of India and invest in India.
Can money invested in NRE category be taken back out of India?
Yes, NRI can take back money that they have brought from abroad under NRE category with profit. The investments made through NRE account are fully repatriable.
Can money invested in NRO category taken out of India?
In case of NRO category, there is a provision by Reserve Bank of India under which NRO can take money up to $1 million every year under the RBI remittance scheme. It implies that you can take money under NRE category, unlimited amount, and NRO category up to $1 million every year.
So I would like to know, do you mean that NRIs can invest freely, take it back, come to India at will, stay here as long as they wish and go back without any restrictions?
Yes, NRI can bring any kind of money in India, invest in different categories. They can come at will and go at will. There is actually a free regime for NRIs to invest in India in terms of bringing in money and taking it back.
What are the options of investment for NRIs?
Yes, NRIs are welcome for all type of investment in India, and considering the provisions of exchange control regulations of RBI, for NRI, rupee is almost convertible to any foreign currency. So it's free investment like any other country of the world.
So my next question would be, how is Indian capital market?
Broadly, There are two options for investments for NRI. One is real estate and other is capital market. In case of real estate, they can buy and hold commercial and residential properties, but they cannot own agricultural land. In case of capital market, the broad options are two: equity and debt. Then NRIs can also invest through mutual fund route, and for ultra high net worth NRI, there are many more options like alternate investment fund, private equity, etc. So there is a well developed Indian capital market, and NRIs can invest very easily and freely in that market. Indian capital market is very well structured. There are institutions of capital market like stock exchanges, merchant bankers, brokers, mutual fund AMC, all working seamlessly in a very controlled and regulated environment. There are two regulators, Reserve Bank of India and SEBI, who keep a close watch on what is happening in capital market.
So my next question is, what are the avenues of investor protection?
India has one of the finest avenue of investor protection. India has a regulator, Securities and Exchange Board of India, called SEBI. SEBI has formed rules and regulations to take care of investor protection. There is total transparency of all the transactions executed. There are trade payment guarantee funds maintained by stock exchanges in case of a failure of member. There are stricter and stringent compliances to be followed by intermediaries such that there cannot be any mismanagement, and there are good avenues of resolving investor grievances. So the regime is such that NRIs can invest in India without worrying about being cheated.
Sir, please give information about process of investment to be followed by NRIs.
There is a three-step process for NRIs for investment in India. Step 1, pre-investment, before the investment is made. Step 2, at the time of investment, and step 3, post-investment.
Sir, what is required to be done before NRI can make investment in India?
As regards to pre-investment process, there are 4 steps to be taken before NRIs can actually make investment. The first step is PAN card. PAN card is a permanent account number given by income tax authorities. So NRIs need to obtain PAN card from income tax authorities. The second point is they need to open bank accounts with designated bank. Designated bank would open NRO, NROPIS, NREPIS and NRE accounts. Then third, they need to open Demat account with DP. And finally, there is a registration process called KYC, Know Your Client.
What are the considerations to be made at the time of investing?
At the time of investment, the process to be followed is development of alternatives, evaluations of those alternatives of investment, taking a decision and executing those decisions.
So what care should NRI take after investment?
After investment is made, investors should take care of review and restructuring from time to time, keep records and accounting of all the transactions happening, and file income tax returns once in a year. So these are the 3 steps for investment.
So how is taxation structured in India?
About taxation, India is investor friendly. Tax rates are low. Individual tax rate is 30%. Corporate tax is also 30% and capital gain tax is 20%. There are even exemptions to this, and there are benefits of indexation. India has signed double tax agreement treaty with number of countries. So here the taxes paid in India can get set off for the taxes payable in the country of residence of NRIs.
How gain from real estate investment is taxed?
Taxation on real estate is like this. When you buy and hold property for more than 3 years, it is considered long term. When you hold it for less than 3 years, it is considered short term gain. Short term gain is added to your income and is taxed normally in the tax slab that you can be. As regards long term capital gain, it is treated as a capital gain. You can get a set off through indexation and pay 20% after the gain is computed.
So how is income tax levied on debt investment?
Taxation on debt investment is also almost identical to real estate. Your investments for more than 3 years, long term capital gain, it is taxed at 20% after indexation. If debt investment is held for less than 3 years, short term capital gain is added to your income and taxed at appropriate rate.
So my next question would be, how is taxation on investment in equities and equities mutual fund?
Taxation on equities and equities mutual fund is one of the best in world. I will explain how. If you hold equity shares or equity mutual fund units for more than 1 year, it is considered as long term capital gain and there is no tax on that capital gain. If you hold it for less than 1 year, then it is short term capital gain and is taxed just at 15%. There is no tax on dividend also. So if you make an investment of 100 rupees and reap 500 rupees after 5 years, then the gain of 400 rupees plus the dividend that you have earned on that investment is absolutely tax free. What can be more beneficial than this?
Can good tax planning be done for NRIs?
Yes, there is a good scope of taxation planning. Good taxation planning can be done mainly by buy and hold strategy. When we identify the investment, we make actual investment and hold it for a long time. We make a review and restructure, but the changes would be minimal, maybe 5 to 10%. So the holding of almost 80 to 90% that you keep on growing, allowing it to grow would not be taxed, because tax is payable only when you sell a particular asset. If you build your portfolio in equities and hold it for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, I don't think that you will have any scope of paying very heavy tax. In India, the taxation is low, but even if your taxation is high in your country of residence, in that case also, buy and hold strategy can give you the real good advantage of getting very good gain without paying much of a taxes.
So my next question would be, what is Double Taxation Avoidance Treaty?
DTAA, Double Tax Avoidance Agreement, is signed between two countries. India has signed such DTAA with number of countries including USA, Canada, UK, UAE, Singapore and number of African countries. With DTAA, when you pay tax in India, you can get set off of those taxes in the country of your residence. So when you show this income earned in India, in your country, whatever tax that you have paid in India gets set off for the tax payable in your country. So its advantages.
What is FATCA? How is it relevant to US investors?
Foreign Account Tax Compliance Act, briefly known as FATCA, has been introduced by USA. Under this act, capital market intermediaries in India are required to report about US citizens and US residents' investment in India, and they are required to report to US authorities. So, investors from USA should take note of this rule.
So, why should NRI invest in India?
We have talked a lot about India and investment, but you would ask a question, why should you invest in India? Well, there are numbers of reasons. First and foremost, there are excellent prospects for investment. India is growing at the GDP growth rate of more than 8%. It is one of the fastest growing economy in the world. There are a number of macroeconomic positives like demography, highest saving rate, inflation going down, current account deficit going down, and others. So, there are good prospects of getting return on your investment. Second, taxation structure is very low. We have already explained this, and it's a very tax friendly regime. Third, ease of investing. We have three-stage process of investment: pre-investment, investment, and post-investment. Pre-investment is a one-time process to be carried out by NRI. Once this process is completed, one can invest at will. There is no long formalities, and with the use of technology, investment is just like a clicking. Then there are good avenues for taking your money back in both the categories, NRE as well as NRO. In NRE, your investment is repatriable. In NRO, remittances can be made. So, for you, investing in India in Indian rupee is like Indian rupee is fully convertible. And finally, you've seen dollar rising against rupee. But considering the changes that's happening in macroeconomic environment in India and Western countries, we may see appreciation of rupee against US dollar. So, all these factors make it very attractive proposition to invest in India.
Sir, please give information about your company Concept.
About my company Concept, I had started that company in 1995. We have experience of more than 20 years. We can be called a smart company. Why smart? Because A, we are highly client oriented, and B, we provide very good value addition. We provide complete range of services for investment in Indian capital market. We have memberships of BSE, NSE, MCX. We are DP of CDSL, and we are SEBI approved portfolio manager. We are providing portfolio management service, and our returns are considered to be one of the best compared to other portfolio managers. Value creation is a new mantra. Our objective is to focus on investors, understand their needs and risk profile, provide relevant information, help them in taking decisions, executing the decisions, and after that monitoring of the investment. Why Concept? We are like others, but yes, there is a difference. One, we provide well researched information to investors. We help investors in taking right decisions. We provide them good deal of options, explain them pros and cons of those options, and help them in taking the right decisions. And above all, we provide comprehensive services to NRI at all the three stages: pre-investment, investment, and post-investment. We have a NRI desk, a single point reference from where you can manage your investment very easily and very smoothly. Finally, I would like to ask you one question. Where do you see India after 5 years? Where do you see India after 10 years? If you believe in growth story of India, come invest through concept and be a part of prosperity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. You have given a very valuable information on NRI. I'm sure this information would be highly beneficial and useful to NRIs.
Pleasure was mine too. Thank you.